Stephanie, I will jump to you. So
Oh,
when
thank
you
you.
first, yes, hello. So when you first learned about your type as a reflector, first learned about the nature of a reflector and first experimented as a reflector, like what were the ahas? What were the things that came up for you? What was that experience like?
So I'm quite new to human design. It's only been a couple of years. And even though I've been playing around in it, I kind of do my own thing and just kind of pop in and out of it. So I heard about human design when I was on a mastermind group. And on one of the calls, they were talking about being manifestors. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of egging it up. I think we all manifest. And then from them talking, it seemed like there was something else, and somebody put a link in the Facebook group. And so I went through and I put my details in on the Jovian archive thing. And I must have put the wrong stuff in because a chart came up, and my initial reaction was quite visceral to kind of pull back from it. And then I thought, oh, let me try it again. And then this gorgeous image of white and red and black came. And it was like, wow, that's me. And I didn't understand anything really. And just scanning through what it meant, it was like, yes. And then I posted it in the Facebook group, and there was a bit of a to do about it because it was not so frequent. And it was like, okay. And Ashling was in that group and she reached out to me. When I looked into it, I had a reading and that was okay. I did quite a lot of talking. But the second reading I had was with somebody talking about my business. And it was comforting because I'd been running my business exactly as a reflector does, exactly as my type. And I felt like I was out of step because I was navigating life without realizing that that was the right way to do it for me. Even though I was out of step with everybody else, it kind of felt like I could breathe. And I could really see that even not knowing about the design or anything to do with human design, that by being wrong, I was tuning into something deeper that was guiding me without knowing the format or the template. I've always loved the moon. I've always loved mysticism and the otherness, and often wondered why people wouldn't be able to see me, that I'd sometimes be in a room and people would walk past me. And that the response was when I was younger, people would either really, really love me or not like me at all. And yeah, so in recent times, I've really kind of sat back into the lunar cycle, and I just don't rush anything. And for me, it feels like I get it's kind of like a floating feeling of peace. And then it's kind of like I'm just waiting to see how things slot in. And if I don't feel a compulsion to act, then I just don't. And I noticed like years ago, I would know in advance if clients were going to come, or, and I'd never advertise, or, and I'm not really, I've no social media presence. Deliberately so, because I wanted to play around with the otherness of life, and that what I was playing with, that it would work all the time. And I wanted to use my life before I knew what a 1-3 type was, that I wanted to use my life as an experiment. So then I could share what I learned confidently to people, and I would be speaking from my experience. So yeah, it's given me peace, and it's allowed me to play and to be unapologetically in the dance of life. And yeah, I'm really enjoying learning more about what it means. And I also noticed that years ago I would love exploring what people wear, and intuitively I used to do psychic readings in pubs and read hands, and I didn't realize that was me channeling. It's just a very magical way of being, and I kind of feel like I'm continually not breathing that much, not requiring to breathe, that I'm being breathed by something bigger, and that I can relax and allow that to happen. Yeah, it's very cool being a reflector. And the one thing that I love is that whatever arises, it's got nothing to do with me. It's exploring, looking, being inquisitive, and knowing that I don't need to dive into it, that I can sit back and allow life to inform me about what's wise and what else is life about, rather than needing to come up with answers. I've no interest in knowing anything, because I can see at every moment it just keeps changing. And when I see people, if I wait long enough, they keep changing. So I'm reluctant to make any assertions about anything, because I see everything just shifting and changing and morphing again and again, depending on my dance and kind of relationship with life and the bigness of what's going on. Yeah.
Nice.